States. It was called the Patriot Act. During the Great War, similar bills were passed. The Espionage Act of 1917 and the Sedition Act, passed a year later, authorized huge fines and lengthy prison terms for anyone who obstructed the military draft or encouraged what was termed disloyalty to the state. The sweeping legislation was quickly put into effect. And first on the list,
into someone's face and provoke a heart attack instantly, and there would be no trace. An autopsy would show a heart attack. And he had a vial that he would, in a handkerchief, that he would break and hold to his own nose, which was an antidote, so he wouldn't have a heart attack. And he caught this businessman that they wanted to hit, coming up the stairs to his apartment.
were the Wobblies.
Hit him with the spray, and he died. And he protected himself, and he got out of the building, and he went and he disposed of the weapon by throwing it in a canal. Now, all of this activity to kill a guy who was not a
In many ways, the Wobblies were the most impressive example of a union movement in the history of the U.S. working class.
household name even in Germany, much less here. I mean, it wasn't the president of Germany or anybody important. That was the length to which the KGB went to liquidate a lesser individual back then. An operation, an agent trained for years, that kind of a weapon. And somebody's going to try to tell us and have us believe that they would authorize an operation to kill the Pope.
Wobblies was the nickname for an organization called the Industrial Workers of the World, IWW, which flourished in the first decade and a half of the 20th century. The American Federation of Labor, which was the main craft union at the time, refused to organize African Americans.
Involving this idiot, that deranged Turk working for the Bulgarians with lists in his own wallet of names and phone numbers of the people who plotted.
Immigrants and women workers. So that meant excluding the vast majority of the working class from the union movement. Along come the Wobblies, and they set out from the beginning specifically to organize immigrants, women, African Americans alongside white workers.
There's simply no way. If the KGB plotted the killing of the Pope, they would have meetings and staffs and teams training for weeks and weeks and weeks to make sure that it couldn't possibly blow. What happened was this deranged Turk shot the Pope, that's a fact, and he had contact with some Bulgarian.
In what they called one big union. They led some of the most successful strikes. One of their strikes was the first sit-down strike at the time. Women workers played leadership roles, something that was absolutely unheard of at the time. Their philosophy.
That's apparently the fact. At least he did have, phone numbers in his wallet. He apparently knew some of these people. And
was
then
that
there was
Bulgarian intelligence or just Bulgarians?
Well, they were, the Italians said later they were intelligence. But then later, then...
He was a revolutionary philosophy. It's known as anarcho-syndicalism.
A federated, decentralized system of free associations incorporating economic as well as social institutions would be what I refer to as anarcho-syndicalism, and it seems
the Western intelligence, including the Pope, who doesn't like the Russians, obviously. He has an enormous bias. They seize on this as a massive thing to sell the world in their disinformation war. We can show the Bulgarian link, and the KGB must have known and all that. And so here you have...
to me that it is the appropriate form of social organization for an advanced technological society in which human beings do not have to be forced into the position of tools, of cogs in a machine.
Another one.
NBC, by the way, had a whole hour show on the plot to kill the Pope, and was making a big deal on it night after night on their nightly news. And then about 2 weeks ago, I saw CBS had a report that this is nonsense, this whole story, that there's no information. The Italian government is going to be forced to give up.
On September 5th, 1917, federal agents raided offices of the Wobblies across the nation, leading to arrests for the offense of causing insubordination, disloyalty, and refusal of duty in the military.
Their prosecution of those Bulgarians that they'd arrested.
CBS ran this?
Yeah, and that all the European intelligence services also are very skeptical, and the CIA is skeptical.
The CIA disavowed it, but that was only in fine print somewhere else.
Yeah. I'll give you another one, and I'll give you this article so you can show it on here. I clipped it out of the Austin American Star.
Naval forces. 101 of the defendants were found guilty and received prison sentences up to 20 years.
Wilson carried out a brutal internal repression called the Red Scare, which is the worst in American history, far worse than McCarthy, far worse than anything that's going on now. They arrested thousands of people, smashed the labor movement, heavy constraints on
Statesman. The other day I was flying out on one of my lectures. AIDS, the acquired immune deficiency syndrome, the gay plague that's spreading in the society, and they don't know what causes it, so it could be the health threat of this.
Free expression, threw lots of people in jail, expelled all sorts of people from the country.
Yet what had started as a hunt against radicals soon spread to every corner of American society. Patriots were encouraged to inform on friends.
Century. Did you know that it's a Cuban communist plot?
Well, I read this in
Who said that? A headline in the Austin American Statesman, an inner-page headline. It's a gay plague linked to Cubans in Africa. And then it goes on in this article. It doesn't give... It doesn't.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Very